This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be hearing new music from the Turtles, all the singles.
And Mary Chapin Carpenter's latest release, The Things That We Are Made Of.
Hello everybody and welcome to Music Worth Buying. My name is Robert Kinsler and I'm a music writer and a musician.
And my name is TJR. I am a musician and music writer.
Now I'm going to kick off a little bit of the show this week and going to go way back in time, 50 years to the birth of the Turtles. This is called The Turtles, All the Singles. Now this is a brand new compilation that gathers 48 original vinyl singles that were released over the course of the band's initial 5-year period together. All the singles and the B-sides, collects all those, and it's hard to believe on 2 discs it puts 48 tracks.
Seriously?
Yeah, it fits them on there, and these aren't
48 tracks?
Yeah, amazing how it fits it on there, and it's just a glorious collection.
Can I see this for a second?
You sure can. Yeah, 2 CDs. Comes with this nice booklet.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I had no idea. I mean, if you asked me about the Turtles, I'm going to say, yeah, they had that. Didn't they have that one hit single?
Well, no, they had more than that. Happy Together, everybody knows.
Yeah.
And but no, they had other songs and beyond Happy Together. But they actually had quite a few songs that were, let's say, they were regional hits here. They were hits in the UK, whatever. They were from Los Angeles, but you know, the band had a history, and
I had no idea.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I've been doing, because obviously I don't really remember the band's initial period that well beyond the singles that have endured, like Eleanor and Happy Together. So I've been discovering the Turtles basically the first time, and these songs are great, very eclectic. You know, there's songs that might remind you of Bob Dylan or maybe the Hollies or the Kinks or some, you know, but all over. But you know, at the heart of it, they have just great harmonies, great performances. Some of the songs they wrote, some of the songs were written for them, or they, you know, they took songs that were out there from somebody else and made fantastic versions of them, and it's just a great collection. I've just really been enjoying it the last couple weeks. So
I would have had no idea,
Well,
no idea whatsoever. Whatever you're going to play, please don't let it be Happy Together.
Okay.
Not that I don't like that song,
because
I do
everyone
like that
probably
song,
knows that.
but let me hear something I've
Okay,
never
tell you
heard
what.
before.
Why don't we kick it off with the first song on here, which is actually they cover Bob Dylan's "It Ain't Me, Babe," and I think they do a real shimmering, beautiful version of that. Let's listen to a little bit of the Turtles doing Bob Dylan. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Protect you and defend you, whether you are right or wrong. Someone to open each and every door, but it ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. Well, it ain't me you're looking for, babe.
Okay, so I know this song because it's a famous Bob Dylan song. So, you know, to me, it's not that big of a revelation because I know the song. I already like the song. You know, they're doing a nice job of covering it. Okay, so you know, it's not doing a whole lot for me. But so while we were listening, I just decided, you know, I'm just going to listen to the next song. I listened to the next song. I thought, oh, that's a pretty cool little rock,
Like garage rocker, yeah.
Yeah, I played the next one. Yeah, it's got some good things. And it's like I'm just kind of flipping through and listening like maybe 30 seconds or so. And it's like actually there's some, you know, this is, you know, I didn't know this. I didn't know they had done all this. I didn't know that this was there. And
and that same with me. I knew about 3 or 4 other songs. There's 48 songs on here.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of a revelation to me because they did do, you know, they cover everything here from country to power pop to garage rock to sunshine pop. I mean, they cover all the styles you might think of in the 60s. They kind of did that, and they did many of those styles well. Kind of like what I guess you might say the Beatles and the Monkees did, where they, you know, they're kind of maybe identified with the sound of that group, but they actually did quite a few styles, you know. And I think that's what the Turtles did, but they're just not as, they've been maybe in the shadow of some of their better known 60s, you know, rock legends there, you know.
I've only ever known one song my whole life.
And maybe
I figured they were a one-hit wonder.
And maybe the glue that kind of ties them together here is the 2 leaders of the band, Howard Kalin and Mark Volman. They just had these really superb harmonies and just very creative. And a lot of times those harmonies were and we'll hear that the next song that I feature. They're just gloriously used. Other times they're kind of more subliminal, and they just add little magical things to the songs and the performances. So again, I've just really found myself enjoying it. I've always been a fan of some of the better '60s bands. So here was like, oh, it's a new artist for me from that era to discover. You know, especially in line with their, you know, basically they came out, you know, more than 50 years ago, and here they are getting some love. Now the label that this came out on, I think it's, and we'll talk about, is Manifesto Records. Apparently they're issuing all of the original Turtles albums that came out between 1965 and 1970, and this is all the singles, but I guess all the original albums are going to be released as well. But you can see here, it's just quite a package. It has lists all 48 tracks here. Well, I don't want to blind anybody, but they're there, and it comes with the beautiful booklet, no lyrics, but it goes in. It has recollections from the key members of the band about each song and when that came out, if the song charted, you know, if somebody else co-wrote it, what they were trying to do. And on
any historical retrospective compilation, I think that's more appropriate than lyrics.
Oh yeah,
much more appropriate to have exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly, and it's a beautiful package and great music that I've been enjoying discovering and just been enjoying it, you know. And I think what I thought about is I said, you know, for many people, you know, beyond Happy Together, that's all they know. So I thought what I'd do is play another one of the band's successful singles, but I think through time and through kind of changes in radio and everything, you're not hearing some of the well-known 60s singles. You know, a lot of times so I thought what we do is play a little bit of Eleanor, which is a beautiful song. It's just every bit almost as nice as Happy Together, especially the chorus is so infectious. And let's play a little bit of that one.
Sure.
Give people a sense of
the title does not ring a bell for me, so let's see what happens here.
Sounds good.
Your looks intoxicate me, even though your folks hate me. There's no one like you, Eleanor, really. Eleanor G, I think you're swell, and you really do me well.
It's a very catchy song. Okay, great chorus. I don't know if it's just because it's a catchy chorus, or I think I have this very like dim, vague memory somewhere back in the deep dark recesses of my brain where I think I've heard this before. I think I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, when I was in my teens, I used to work at a service station, and and I worked with a bunch of these guys that were older, and all they did was play 60s. One of the radio stations that only played 60s songs.
Yeah, hits.
So I heard all the oldies, and I remember the song very well. It used to be on.
Oh, okay.
But again, like if I play the rock radio today in 2016,
even oldies radio.
Yeah,
today.
Outside of the Beatles and some Stones, and maybe once in a while a Kinks tune, they've just kind of let a lot of the bands drop. I mean, like even the Zombies, all you hear is Time of the Season. You don't even hear some of the other Zombies hits that were hits in the early 60s. Radio has become, and I'm not talking about some of the internet.
We're talking about terrestrial radio.
But I'm just talking about terrestrial radio, and it's unfortunate some of these great songs are no longer getting played.
A while back, I discovered this great compilation of rare funk and groove soul music from the early 60s up to the late 60s. And this was all like stuff I'd never heard before. It was all, some of it was by very artists who are now considered very obscure, but they had their little moments in the sun. They were on the radio. I loved every track, even though I'd never heard of these before. These were to me like little lost gems, and I like I said, I've only just lightly sampled this, but just from what little I heard, it was almost the same as finding one of these compilations of obscure, lost songs from the early '60s.
Exactly.
The '60s. I realize this is the same band, but in some cases, because of the variety of the styles, if I didn't know better, if I listened to it blindly, I might think it's a little bit that this might be just different bands. After a while, I'd start to kind of figure out, hey, I think the vocals sound too much the same.
Yeah, and the remastering job on this is just wonderful too. I mean, these songs you hear, like even Happy Together, and I know we didn't play. I mean, when I listened to that recording, it was blowing me away. I was hearing things in the recording, that I had never remembered hearing before. So yeah, they, whoever's responsible, I don't have the name, offhand here, but they've just done a beautiful job all the way across the 48 tracks.
Cool.
And there's actually a bonus track at the end that you'll want to listen to if you do pick this up at the very end, and it's kind of a fun bonus track. So again, love this. Now, who did you bring in today?
Yeah, so I have got the latest album by singer-songwriter Mary Chapin Carpenter. And the album is called The Things That We Are Made Of. And it's her 14th full-length album. It's produced by David Cobb. Now, full disclosure here. This is my first real exposure to her, okay? I have not listened to any of her back catalog. So I'm not referencing this towards anything else. I'm not making any comparisons to previous work. So, forgive me if I don't have that history. But also, because of that, I'm not carrying any baggage about her history, about her past catalog either. And I'm listening to this with just completely fresh ears as someone who's just, hearing her for the first time. This is, how shall I say, very artfully crafted songwriting. And it also has equally crafted production. And the two definitely go hand in hand. I don't think that, as the songwriting is very good. I don't think it would be as strong without the production that accompanies it. I think the two just really, it's a really good blend and marriage of production and songwriting. Each one complements the other back and forth to the point where it's almost indistinguishable where one begins and the other ends. Okay. And I'm going to stop now and we're going to play a track here. And this is the opening track on the album called Something Tamed and Something Wild.
With some twine, each one was like a diamond. Now the jewel is lost to time. My reward is in the knowing that I held it in my hands for a little while. What else are there but the treasures in your heart? Something tamed, something wild.
I'm kind of like you. That's my first time hearing Mary Chapin Carpenter. I mean, I've heard her name, obviously.
Yeah.
But over the years, I've just never been assigned to cover her in concert or missed her. If she was at Stagecoach, I didn't catch her or anything. But first listen, very impressed by her voice and just the kind of the honesty of her vocal delivery and very pleasing voice and everything.
Yeah. We're both Mary Chapin Carpenter. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we're both Mary Chapin Carpenter virgins, I guess.
Yeah,
is what we would say.
Yeah,
but I certainly knew about her. I mean, she's had a very long career, and I'd never gotten around to hearing her. But then there are classic movies I've never gotten around to seeing either.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And from the moment I first heard that first track, the one we've just listened to, Something Tamed, Something Wild, I was absolutely just kind of floored by the track. I was floored by the evocativeness of her lyrics. Also, there is her vocal delivery. The emotions of her songs just kind of simmer right beneath the surface of her vocal delivery.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful album. It's mostly a quiet album, and I do have trouble with that because I tend to be more of the guy that wants to hear all the upbeat music, likes a little more variety, only a couple slow songs. But every track is really good, though. Every track is really good. That's just me. I have that problem, and that I'm probably a little too hyperactive when it comes to music. But yeah, every song on this is beautiful. This comes in a digipack here, and here we have front and back cover. Here we have the interior, and there is a really nice booklet here as well. You do get all the lyrics. You do get some photos. Very artfully done. And let's listen to another track, shall we? This song is called Map of My Heart.
The map of my heart is torn at the corners from ignoring the warnings, disobeying the orders. I've been lost in a crowd, found in solitary. I learned how to travel, just what I could carry towards the vast unseen and the great unknown. The map of the heart.
And that's Map of My Heart. Every single track on this album she has, written herself. And you know, these songs all deal with being at that middle-aged part of your life, and you're looking back with a, you know, you're looking back with some regret, some fondness, some sentimentality, and maybe even looking back with a little bit of anger at times. And there's a whole gamut of emotions in these songs. And, you know, like I said, it's my first exposure to her. And it's always great when somebody that I've, you know, it's like, yeah, I've kind of heard that about that person for a while now. I think Ani DeFranco was the same way. I'd been hearing about Ani DeFranco for years before I finally got exposed to one of her albums, and now I've gone out and got a whole bunch of her other albums as a result. And I have a feeling I'm going to feel the same way about Mary Chapin Carpenter. I'm definitely going to want to explore her past catalog now after just hearing this.
That's what I did, like with Bruce Coburn. I discovered him relatively late. The Register had me cover him. He had a long career going back like 15, at that point, 15 years. I went back and investigated his previous catalog, was blown away by him. But that is the exciting thing. Or even like Turtles we were talking about earlier. You know, it's neat to discover an artist, even if they've been around a while, because it's new to you.
Exactly.
You know.
And that's one of the things I like about being able to do this gig here, ever since I got this gig with you here, is that I don't think I would have discovered her without it. I mean, even though I knew who she was, I don't think I would have had that opportunity to really hear the music.
Good point.
Because I have to keep seeking out things to talk about on the show.
Exactly.
And I'm very grateful for it. At the end of the day, very grateful. And I'm very grateful for Mary Chapin Carpenter for making such a great album.
Thanks for bringing that in. I definitely want to investigate that myself now.
And I would never have thought the Turtles. Never in a million years would I thought.
Well,
you know, but now, you know, it's like,
now you need to come out of your shell and check them out.
Oh,
I didn't really say that, did I?
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh,
I'm gonna hold you to it for many years. Never gonna let you
I'm
forget
sure
about
you will.
it.
Okay. That's
anyway,
a reptilian response.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
All
On that
right.
note,
On that note, I think we better
better.
while we're ahead.
We better,
here. And my name's TJR. You can check out my music at tjrmusic.com. And you can also check out all my other stuff at my own YouTube channel, which is TJR the Original. And please tell us, where can we find more of you?
When you're not watching me here on this channel, you can check me out at ocregister.com.
Yes.
They run my concert reviews.
Yeah.
And of course at desertstarweekly.com they run my album reviews. And you can read all kinds of posts and things here at
all your other
musicworthbuying.com.
reviews that you
all
do.
my other reviews and all these posts and news updates about artists and stuff and all kinds of cool stuff, right?
Musicworthbuying.com.
There we go, musicworthbuying.com.
And thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for sharing the show with your friends on social media. We appreciate it. And tell us, what did you think of these albums? Have you heard them? What do you think? Are you going to want to check them out based on what you saw today? And if you have heard them, tell us what you think. We're looking forward to hearing what you have to say. All right. We'll catch y'all later. Take care.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.